Good day, everyone. This is Celine, your detox coach. Today, I am prepping for a talk I have this weekend at a festival in KZN. And I thought I'll use this opportunity to work on my posture while I'm talking to people and at the same time connecting with you guys, creating some content so that you also can share some of the information. So this talk is going to be about the chemistry of food. And yes, let's see if we can spend 20 minutes talking about the chemistry of food and why it is important. So there's a few reasons why you want to consider the chemistry of food. One of the most important ones, I would say, is in this dimension on this planet, we explain this dimension through physics and chemistry. I'm not saying there's not other dimensions to this dimension out there, but the main categories we have learned to observe this existence is through physics and chemistry. So if you want to consider yourself being part of this planet, you need to consider yourselves in the terms of chemistry and physics. And the same then with the food that you consume. You must realize that each thing that you put into your mouth has physics to it and has chemistry to it. And that chemistry and physics has a resulting effect on your body, which exists of chemistry and physics. And this will determine if you have top energy from the food you eat or if you're actually slowly poisoning your body with the food that you're eating. There's not really a golden midway here. It's either one of the two. So let's discuss this a little bit regarding food. So when we eat food, there's three chemistry elements that you need to consider. Firstly, it's the chemistry of the food before digestion. This is sort of for interest's sake. It doesn't really matter if it's acidic or alkaline before digestion. What matters is the ash that's left behind after digestion. Is this ash left behind after digestion acidic or alkaline? If it's acidic, it adds to the acids in your body and it is entering into your lymphatic fluid because it's part of the waste product of digestion, and it acidifies your inner environment. So if you're going to eat 95% food that is acid ash forming food, you will be in a very acidic state in the inner environment. And when you are in an acidic state in the inner environment, things stick together. Acids make things stick together. Nutrients clump together, and it's now not the cells are not able to utilize these nutrients when they clump together. Tissue sticks together. A clear case of this is endometriosis or fibromyalgia. This is when the tissues of the body is so acidic, it starts being welded together. It literally starts sticking together. This has a lot of pain in result, and it's just not the way it should have been. So when dynamic things happen and things need to change in the body, it can't because it's stuck now, and this is where the real pain sets in, you know. You don't want to be acidic in your inner environment. If you look at our planet there, the healthy biomes out there exist of up to 80% alkaline elements and then 20% acidic. Even our periodic table, 75% of it is alkaline of those elements, and maximum 25% is acidic of those elements. This seems to be the natural balance. We don't want to nullify acids completely. We need acids for ionization, for a lot of breakdown and things that needs to happen. We need acids. We can't live without acids. But when we get ourselves in this place where we are a majority of acids instead of a majority of alkaline, this is where things go bad. So we need to consider what kind of ash food leaves behind after digestion. So let's talk about this a little bit. It's actually two very simple categories that you can create. There's complex structured food and there is simple structured food. Complex structured food is foods that exist of a lot of different things. This includes your protein, dairies, complex fats, your dormant food like your beans, legumes, rice, chickpeas, your nuts and seeds. All of these are complex structured food. And then there is simple structured food. Simple structured food is your most of your veggies and your fruits. This is simple structured food. So Most of the simple structure food, most of them, there are certain ones that are different, but most of your simple structure food leave an alkaline ash. There's certain ones like modern blueberries leaves an acid ash. Eggplant leaves an acid ash. Rule of thumb over simple structure food is if you can eat it raw without processing or cooking it, you know that it is a simple structure food, and then most of the time this will leave an alkaline ash after digestion. On the other hand, your complex structured food has so many things inside of the food that many of the times it leaves a acidic digestive ash after digestion. This will include things like phosphorus and manganese. Both of these things are things that you need, but if you have it in excess, it becomes a huge problem. It's acidic, it burns, it's corrosive, it breaks down, it makes things stick together. You don't want too much of this. You want it in your diet in the right relationship. You build bones with calcium and phosphorus. Together builds bones, so you can't go without phosphorus. But having too much of it is never a good thing. Nitrogen, all your kind of acidic wastes that you get from eating these complex structured food are the acid ash that we speak of. It's basically the minerals that's left behind after the carbohydrates has been used for fuel in your body. So this is the one element you have to consider. Another element that you have to consider is the actual digestive process. We actually have two digestive processes in the human body. We've got an acidic digestive process and an alkaline digestive process. We're working with the same two categories here. Simple structured food, like your plants, doesn't need acids to be broken down for digestion. You actually are the alkaline enzymes that you find in the spit in your your glands produce it in your mouth, and in the spit is this alkaline digestive enzymes. When you eat your plant material, it mixes with these enzymes. You swallow it down. In this case, your stomach is like a holding bag. It simply holds all this food that's mixed with the enzymes in your saliva, and the digestion is completed. And then it goes off to absorption. When you eat a complex structured food, you're going to lose your energy by chowing the food, and your saliva glands are still going to produce the enzymes for the alkaline breakdown, although it's not going to have any effect on those food. You're going to swallow this food down, and the moment this food hits your stomach wall, the stomach and the small intestines together have to produce certain elements and chemistry to produce the acids necessary for the breakdown and digestion of this complex structured food. This is only for the digestion. So now you're losing out on two organs energy already, the pancreas and the stomach and the small intestine producing the acids for the breakdown, and at the same time your pancreas and your liver now has to produce bicarb by the pancreas and bile by the liver to alkalize this acidic stomach chime before it hits your small intestines. Otherwise your small intestine will burn and actually ulcerate. This is when you sit with ulcers in your intestines. So it's very important that you realize the difference in the energy usage of your body, the alkaline versus the acidic digestive process. It's not like we don't need the acidic digestive process. We need it very much for the 20% acid ash forming food, complex structured food that we do need and that we will be having, and that we do need the acid breakdown process. So it's very important to have that process in place and to keep the organs strong that needs to produce the chemistry. But if you're going to run on a lifestyle where your diet includes up to 95% complex structured food, and all the time you have to produce all this acidic breakdown enzymes and the chyme and the bile, these organs are going to be worn out. They're not going to be able to do what they need to do at a later stage in your life, and you're going to sit with cascading effect of your body breaking down. So this is now just looking at the chemistry of food, right? Now there's one other element to consider. What happens if you have a meal that contains complex structured foods and simple structured foods? What happens then? So say for instance we eat a bean curry. In this case we've got beans and rice, that is both complex structured food, and you've got vegetables. beans and rice, both being complex structured food, are going to need the acid digestive process to happen, right? So you're going to eat the food that's both combined. The saliva is going to produce the enzymes like it always does, and the plant material will start digest as it goes down to the stomach. But the moment this meal hits your stomach and your small intestines will produce the acids to break the complex structure down, and this acids nullifies the alkaline enzymes. So immediately the plant material in this meal stops digesting. So immediately you're losing out on the nutrients of those vegetables. You might as well not have the vegetables and only have the complex structured food by itself. It's much better for you to do it like that, actually, because what happens to this plant material now is it starts fermenting. And this fermentation has complex sugar and alcohol as a result, and this invites the fungi. The fungi lives off complex sugar. You need fungi in your body to a certain degree. It's got a very beautiful symbiotic relationship with our body, but you don't need too much fungi. And the more you have complex sugar in your diet or starches, you are actually feeding the fungi. And they will proliferate and start taking over your body. You will have funny discharges. You will have funny itching situations. There's a lot of people suffering with a lot of fungi overgrowth, candida being one of them. Other foods that supports the fungi to proliferate is any food that contains yeast, any food that contains fermentation, any bad food combinations, like I just explained, that renders fermentation as a result. Your beers, your cheeses, all of these guys that has yeast in it, even your wines, this exasperate the fungi. So this is now the chemistry side of food, right? Let's look at the physics side of food. This is quite exciting. So you've learned about the energy of food through calories, right? We've learned that the calorie intake of food is the energy it provides to our body. This is actually such a joke. Did you know, for them to measure calories, what they do is they take a piece of food, say for instance a broccoli, and then they burn it. And they weigh the ash after the burn. This, according to them, is the calories. This, according to them, is the energy provided to your body, which is a bit of a conundrum because we don't have flames in our digestive process. We have a chemical breakdown process. It's not combusted by flames. So how does that relate now to energy for the body? We need to look at something else to be able to measure energy delivered to the body. So one other thing that you can look at is actually at the electromagnetic load of your food. So you get something like kilometer photography. This is photography that captures the energy body of any item, the electromagnetic load of any item, which concludes to the energy of that item. So you understand that we are electromagnetic beings, right? Sort of makes sense that if we want to refuel this electromagnetic body, that we need to take in electromagnetic fuel, right? So when you look at a picture comparing a raw piece of meat and an apple, and you look at the difference in the electromagnetic field, it's huge. The apple is literally shining off the electromagnetic field, of the energy that it contains. And the meat has this kind of light bulbs here and there that's on, and this is a raw piece of meat. The moment you cook this piece of meat, the energy will be way less, if any. And this is the energy delivered to your body. Not the structure. I'm not speaking of minerals yet. Yeah. When we look at the energy field of a bean, for instance, or a legume or a rice that's in its dormant form, it's not alive yet, it's not growing yet, so it's in its dormant form. It's got very little energy as well. And if you cook that, it again also have no energy. But there's other things in that food that can be used by the body. There's amino acids in there. After your very expensive acidic digestive process that loses energy of 4 different organs that now needs to be replenished, you will actually sit with amino acids, which is great. It can be used by the body. Is there amino acids in fruits? Yes, there is. Imagine that. The food wouldn't have had structure if there wasn't amino acids in it. And there's even more amino acids in vegetables, of course. So between the fruits and the vegetables, you can get all the amino acids you need. This time your body don't need to use 4 organs to break down this structure into amino acids. You actually only need the enzymes in your saliva to break it down, so that it actually gets to your body through absorption, and hopefully through successful utilization gets to the cell. Absorption and utilization is part of a different topic right now, but this is now boiling down to the chemistry and the physics of food. So when you look at what food to consume, you really need to look at what energy it provides your body. This is where we look at the electromagnetic field of the food. Fruits is by far the highest charged electromagnetic food on this planet. Secondly, you need to look at the energy it takes off your body to digest the food. Is it the alkaline digestive process, or is it the acidic digestive process? And thirdly, you need to look at the ash that's left behind by the food. What does this ash do to your body? Does it acidify your body more, which is not a good thing? Does it alkaline your body, which is a great thing? This is the way you heal. This is the way your natural detoxing function of the body can actually function well. And another thing to consider, of these acidic wastes that the body can't use, how much of it are so detrimental for the body that it actually needs the liver and the kidneys to work their butts off to actually work with it, and hopefully are able to eliminate it to leave the body successfully. If your kidneys are not filtering, your lymphatic fluid is not being drained successfully. You are actually accumulating digestive wastes like the ash that's left behind, as well as the metabolic waste of 100 trillion cells. These cells that eats nutrients, transmute energy, and then poops waste. This poop needs to be removed. And the only thing in your body that can deal with the removal of this poop, this waste, that it's a pH of 3 and lower, is your lymphatic fluid. And the only way this lymphatic fluid can eliminate these wastes successfully is 20% of it goes through the bowel, the rest goes through the 3 kidneys, your 2 kidneys and your skin. And if your kidneys are not in the position where it is filtering, it is not leaving your body. How do you know if your kidneys are filtering? You urinate in a glass jar first thing in the morning. You look at it in front of a light without shaking it too much within the first hour of urinating in the jar, and you want to see your lymph in your urine. If you can't see any lymph in your urine, your body is not filtering lymph. Your kidneys are actually not filtering. And all the time that I've helped people to detox, I've only met 2 whose kidneys was filtering when I met them. It is a very modern human condition to be actually born without kidneys that doesn't filter. This is a huge, huge, huge deal, and it really needs to be addressed by all of us. Healing 101 is to alkalize your inner environment so that your lymphatic fluid alkalizes, so that your elimination organs, your kidneys and your skin, start working again. And the moment you start getting that right, that is when you see cellular regeneration happening. There's 3 elements to cellular regeneration. This is alkalizing, detoxifying, and energizing. Food play a huge role in all 3 of this. It's actually the main role that's being played is by what is going into your mouth, onto your skin, what you are breathing, what you're putting on your hair and on your scalp. Is it acidic? Because don't think acidic things that you put on your scalp is not entering your head space. Your skin is a very porous organ. It is designed to release gases and to also receive whatever is coming in from the outside. So be very careful with what you put on your skin. And then as well, be very careful with your thoughts. Our emotional body has an alkaline and acidic element to it as well, as does our mental body, our thoughts. So if you sit with emotions that is acidic, like anger and jealousy and envy and lack of empathy, and all these things, you are exasperating the acidity in your entire body, which exists of much more than just the physical body. If your thoughts are acidic and negative, it is also adding to an acidic nature. instead of actually taking control of your thoughts, making sure to produce loving thoughts that is an alkaline nature, and then also see how your emotional body heals and manifest alkaline emotions like love and empathy and understanding and patience. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you haven't done a detox with me before, please look at the website that's in the description area. Have a look at all the different programs running. Connect with us. It'll be lovely to have you join us and learn all about this radical way of healing. And what's so nice about it, it's not a modern thing. It is one of our most ancient remedies on this planet, is to eat like our ancestors. And if you look at any belief structure out there, the roots of it sits with humans that used to eat fruits. We became very clever when fire became part of our life, and we thought many other things are now edible, but to our surprise, it is not. Our age has decreased from 900 years old to scarcely 100 years old, and we think that is normal. I think we're in for a big surprise as we see many people reach back to this ancient way of healing. I think we're going to sit with humans turning 140, 250 again, and being live and have a good quality of life while doing so, enjoying life with a healthy vehicle that is not cumbersome and slowed down by acids and pain and deteriorating cells. If you want to be healthy, you need to be a host of 100 trillion healthy cells. So you really need to focus on what a cell needs to be happy. And it boils down to a cell needs to be able to receive its nutrients, and a cell needs to be able to have its wastes removed. Thank you for tuning in, everyone. Until next time, this is Helene, your detox coach.